Een hele goede morgen, middag of avond. Welkom terug bij CrimiTV. Jawel. Goedemorgen, hoe is het ermee? Hebben we er een beetje zin in? Ik wel. Oh man, ik heb er zo zin in. Vandaag wordt een leuke dag. Vandaag wordt een hele leuke dag, want we gaan de Stanley Parable gaan we verder spelen. Die hebben we echt hadza. De Stanley Parable gaan we even verder spelen. En waarschijnlijk gaan we vanmiddag even iets anders doen, zoals een boeren. Lekker Farm Sim 22. Het is mei, dames en heren. Joe, Willem is er ook bij. Kijk eens aan. Gezellig. Het is inmiddels mei. We zijn al bijna op de helft van het jaar. Het gaat heel rap. Voor mijn idee was het nog maar net oud en nieuw geweest. Maar goed. De winter is in ieder geval voorbij. Het zonnetje schijnt hier lekker door. Dus het is een fantastische dag om lekker binnen te zitten. Mensen, wij gaan de Stanley Parable spelen. Het eerste wat het spel mij vraagt is, hoe laat is het? Nou, prima. Het is 1:10 AM. Hang on. Voor degenen die dit spel niet kennen, is het een heel raar spel. Before we can get started, can I just say something? Okay, sure. Thank you for setting the clock both times you've booted up the game. Aha. Oké. Ja. Ja. Ik let op. Klopt. Oh. Oké. I'll make you a deal. Next time you boot up the game, set the clock to your favorite time. Okay. You've earned it. Okay. Alright. Let's get back to the video game now. Oké, sure. Oké, dus het spel is blij dat ik de klok 2 keer heb gezet. De Stanley Parable 2, ja. Ze houden wel vol, hè? Eens even kijken, want ik zat even te zien bij audio, nee, video, nee, general denk ik dan. Presentation, language, show subtitles on. Translation label. Enable translated labels, oké. Ja. Kun je ook een translation zien? Oké. Nee. Alles uit. Prima. Oké, we gaan door. Begin the game. The Stanley Parable 2. Tuigsessie. We zijn gewapend met een kop koffie. We zijn gewapend met een spel wat echt helemaal nergens over gaat.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Komt-ie weer.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he
Die
was
ballon,
employee number 427.
Die fucking ballonnen.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
Oh jee.
Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong.
Yeah.
Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Achievement, welcome back. Jullie kunnen helaas de achievements niet zien, dus ik noem ze maar gewoon als ze voorbij komen. Bij sommige spellen pakt hij dat wel, bij sommige niet. Vind ik heel raar, maar ja, het is wat het is. Oké, dus al onze collega's zijn weg. Ik heb al een uur geen opdracht gekregen en nu gaan we uitzoeken wat er aan de hand is. Wat is er aan de hand? Overal hangen nu die ballonnen.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Perhaps.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Nee. Huh. Oké, ik ga nog steeds monitors uitzetten. Wat is dit? Figurine Finders Committee. Hey, dat vind ik wel leuk. Oh, hier is de emmer.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Dus hier nu echt, er staat zo'n hekje nu, wat ik echt niet snap. Maar we hebben de emmer. Pardon. Oké, ik moet heel goed op die monitors letten. Okay.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Gaan we doen? Ja. Nog steeds zijn alle deuren op slot. Die monitor staat aan. Daar kan ik niet bij. There will be a reward for finding them all. Oh. We need more planks. Oh. Some kind of game. Nearby a fireplace? Okay. Fig leaves are hard to find. Red room. Ze hebben dus een PowerPoint gemaakt, of een dia show. Thank you, good luck. Oké. We gaan proberen deze figurines te vinden.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
Geen stickers. Helaas, we hebben al 2 stickers. Property of Stanley en een sticker met een bucket.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Nee. Ah!
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs. What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Mooi man. Wauw, wat een goed spel.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. Yeah. He looked down at the bucket in his arms.
Hey.
Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all.
Hey, we lopen rondjes.
Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket.
Ik heb de bucket laten vallen.
Now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground.
Oh
gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. was
Oh.
incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Oh. Dat wordt even voor mij bepaald.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Mariella?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day,
Ja, geweldig
her
spel,
walk
hè?
was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Oh nee.
Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
She backflipped all the way to work. Oké. Oké. We zijn dood gegaan. Sorry. Nog een keer. Oké. Vind de
All of his
computer.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
De computer
Stanley
met
decided to
daarop
go
de-
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Weet je wat? Fuck de bucket. We laten de bucket... We nemen niet de bucket mee dit keer. Diep, diep. Ah, hier. Awaiting input. Right. Oké, input received. Dat is 1. Oké, volgende ronde. Pakken we mee.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yes. Iemand houdt het ook echt bij. Large room, lots of boxes. Geen idee.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
But I like it here.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
Okay.
No reason to coming to a staircase. Stanley walked upstairs to
We gaan
his
zonder
boss's
bucket naar
office.
beneden.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Ja.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
Yeah.
Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job.
Nee.
He wasn't crazy after all.
Nee.
And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Ja.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Ja.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream.
Yeah.
Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Nope.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh. Ik loer jou.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oké, dit is de normale Mariella ending, zonder de bucket.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
Oh, fijn.
But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career.
Ja.
And by extension, the rest of her life.
Precies.
She had no time for this. So it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body.
Ja.
And then she turned and ran.
Turned and ran ook gewoon. Hallo, hallo, test, test. Ik heb hier een knopje voor volume, maar ik heb hem altijd op zijn laagste punt. Volume is wel goed of niet, Willem? Okay, we gaan
All of
weer.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Missed a memo. Waar is de tweede computer? Ah, hier. Ja, mooi. Input received. Fuck jou, Emmer. Echt waar. Die Emmer maakt me helemaal gek. Oké, we gaan...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ja.
Oh, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Dit is niet.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Sorry to break it to you, Stanley, but that lift isn't coming back. You'd best either get comfortable right here on this platform, or test your luck by jumping to the floor below. You know what? Looking at it now, it's not that far to the bottom floor. I bet you can make it.
Um.
Come on. I'm sure you'll survive the jump. Don't tell me you're scared. That's not the Stanley I know. Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it!
Hij vertelt me dus gewoon van, nou, spring maar. Number 1. Nee, doe het niet. Bekijk het maar. Hij heeft de deur op slot gedaan, de eikel. Dat is een $5.000 penalty for jumping off the cargo lift. Oké, doe maar. Hop.
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
Oké, we gaan er nog een keer in. Dit keer gaan we op de lift blijven
All of
staan.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Waar is de computer? Waarom stond hier net een dingetje dan? Oké, de computer die we nu nodig hebben is niet hier. Dan moet hij in de boss office
When
zijn.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yes, I did. Oké, we gaan allemaal verschillende soorten eindes proberen te vinden. Maar ik wil ook eens weten wat er gebeurt als je al die knoppen indrukt.
Oh no, oh no, 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 not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Dank je. Dat was hem. Oké, we gaan omhoog dit keer. We gaan niet naar beneden, want dan worden we gek.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oké. Ja, daar was die. We kunnen deze openen, wat fijn. Hier is een lift. Stanley. En we zijn weer boven, wat raar. Oké. Kunnen we nog verder omhoog? Ja. Oké, we gaan omhoog in plaats van naar beneden. Gaan we naar het dak. Duurt lang. Jongens. Nou Willem, nu weer toch aan het wachten zijn. Nee, dat lijkt er wel op, hè? Oké. Het lijkt er inderdaad op alsof de lift gewoon begint te trillen en de muziek gaat spelen. Ja, ik kom weer bij het kantoor uit. Ja. Er gebeurt inderdaad helemaal niks. Doe je lift. Oké.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Ja.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Ja. Zullen we vanmiddag even gaan boeren, Willem?
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Oh, hier. Collectible.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Oké. Nog een lift. Nee? Ga je doen, Willem? Heb je plannen voor vanmiddag?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Lift kapot.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ja, echt niet.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Oh. Nou, dat zullen we nog wel eens even zien.
The door behind him was not
kijken.
shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Oké. Als je het zo stelt. Waarom is het zo'n lange hal? Pardon. Ik kan ook niet rennen of zo. Dit spel maakt je wel nieuwsgierig, echt in elke... Geen twijfel, Jan? Nee? Okay.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much. Nope, still on board with death.
Immigradaus, gaan we doen. Ik ben voor. Let's do it. Ik krijg er wel warm van. Ups. Even wat vasthouden. Yeah. Oké, wat is dit? Een gat. Dan weet je waar je voor het gedaan hebt. Zo is het. Oké. Ik zit in een karretje. Oh, vonken.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
God.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, As Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous
Dat is
metal
de tweede
jaws,
verteller.
in a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oké.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh, hier, dit is mijn office inderdaad. Ja. Oh, dit is een soort van museum. En hier heb je dan die 2 deuren. Ja. Oh, gaaf. De originele computer. Stanley's computer, ja. Nature paintings. We zijn in een of ander museum beland. Filing cabinets. Office computers. The Office 001, 002, 003. Huh. Okay. Credits. The impeccable Kevin Brighting as the narrator. Oké, wat hebben we hier? The Office. Ja. De originele maintenance room. Ja, oh, gaaf hoor. Ik vind het wel gaaf dat ze zulke soort dingen erin doen. Fun. How do you stay in shape? Michael The Rock Martin. Oké. Lounge, ja. Telefoon. Oké. De cargo lift, ja. Mensen, wat een gedonder. Waar zijn we beland? Een meeting room. Ja, 1 option, 2 options. Vent. Oh, er is een vent vanuit de lounge. Huh? Oké, dat is nieuw. The simplest version that won. Huh. Oké. Wat hebben we hier? Oh, de originele 3... Zending. Ja. Mooi man. Gaaf, oké. Volgens mij hebben we alles wel een beetje gezien hier, hè. Ik kan wel uren rondstruinen in een museum. Office clock. Staat hij ook goed nu ik de tijd heb gezet? Even zien? Nee. Nee, hij loopt voor.
textbook mistake.
It's the kind of thing you pick up on intuitively if you have all his fundamental understanding of good and bad game design. But of course, you being you, you'll probably spend the next hour trying to solve it. Here, I'm just going to make this easy on you.
De mind control facility. Oké, heel gaaf dit allemaal, maar ik kan hier wel uren rondstruinen. Allemaal Easter eggs en zo. Ik denk dat ik gewoon naar huis wil. Waar is die exit? Ik kan nog steeds niet springen. Springen is nog steeds op. Hier zo.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you.
Hoppa. We doen wat ze zei. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ja. Excusez-moi. Neem de bucket niet mee, want fuck de bucket. Oké, we gaan terug naar die lift.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nee. We gaan terug naar die cargo lift. Vind ik wel interessant.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Daar is een open deur.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you forgot. Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one. And then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Niks ervan.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
Oké.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Clearly there's something here that speaks to you.
Yeah.
If I can be honest here, I really don't have any idea where I'm going with this. This whole third door thing was just a stab in the dark. But I guess you're into it, so let's keep this party train rolling. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version.
Oh.
And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Oké. Worldwide leaderboard. Oké. Only the worst 3% of players chose the blue door. Stanley, this is you. Aw, eikel. Okay.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Ja.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours.
4
hours? So why don't you
hours?
give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Vier uur. 4 uur? Baby mag stikken wat mij betreft. Oké, go.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain.
Sure.
Let's see. What do we have here? Yes. This seems like it'll work.
Oké, we gaan een ander spel spelen.
Aha!
Firewatch.
What do you think this game is about, Stanley?
Ik ken
What's our
deze.
backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Firewatch. Ja, ik heb dit zelf niet gespeeld, maar ik ken het wel. Dit is echt een walking simulator spel. Dus er zit niet echt gameplay in dit spel. Je moet gewoon van A naar B lopen.
No, it can't be.
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call.
Oh jee.
You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Oh jee. Wat is dit? Hey, is dit
Wonderful.
Rocket
See, this
League?
is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley,
Sports ball.
I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun. Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes! Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls!
Ballen. Waarom spelen we Rocket League opeens?
Are you enjoying this, Stanley?
Ja.
Are you having fun? Is this a real video game?
Ja, sure.
Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over.
Huh?
That's right. Your little fun comes to an end.
Hey.
This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me. Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Oké. Ik weet niet wat hier aan de hand is. Oh, ik viel weer. Oh, dit is de originele... Dit is de originele Half-Life mod van Stanley Parable. Het is wel erg donker. Daar niet van. Waar gaan we heen? Hier maar naartoe dan. Zullen we ons eigen kantoor proberen te vinden? 427. Holy shit, wat een setup. ...427, daar zijn we. Ons eigen kantoor. Nou, ik vind het wel een leuk plekje eigenlijk. Oh, opeens wordt het licht zwart.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Oké. Oké. Loading. En een restart. Ja! Welcome Stanley to heaven. Rip. Inderdaad, rip. Zijn hier knoppen? Ik kan ze uitzetten en aanzetten. Oh, ze gaan vanzelf weer aan. Oh, de knoppen gaan vanzelf weer aan. Welkom to heaven. Ik wil alle oranje knoppen. Ik ben dol op oranje. Wow. Inderdaad, rip. Oké. Wat doe ik hier verder? Ik ben dood. Ik ben in de hemel en hier mag ik op knoppen drukken. Net zoals mijn baan in het echt. En met in het echt bedoel ik in het spel in het echt. En nog steeds kan ik hier niet springen. Nou, ze gaan er straks opnieuw weer aan. Ik denk dat het gewoon een soort van joke ending is, of een easter egg, of hoe je het maar wil noemen. Ik denk dat we gaan restarten. Begin the game again. Nee, niet nog een keer.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Ja, oké. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Klopt.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Exact.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Oké, we gaan nogmaals hier naartoe. Whoop.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Heb ik dat al eens gedaan? Ja, dat heb ik gedaan.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Kunnen we straks
I
wel doen.
realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Oké, we gaan nu
There's
daar weer
someone you've
naartoe.
been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
Yeah.
Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Yeah.
Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Okay.
Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Sure.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now.
En opeens is die
Don't
andere
you
hal
see that
weg.
it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Oh, de deur gaat open. Oké.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Oké. Dit is wel heel trippy. Ach, hier. Kubusjes met vuurwerkkleurtjes. Wat New Age muziek. Dit is wederom een andere hal dan net, hè. Dit is zo fucking trippy. Dan gaat de donut de lucht in. Hoe lang gaan we hier blijven? Epilepsie incoming, ja gelijk, we gaan weg.
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Oké. Oké, daar is dus een trap die leidt naar een loopplank. En dan kun je jezelf vermoorden, blijkbaar. Oké, sure. Weet je wat, narrator? Ik geef je nog een paar minuten.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
Oké. Ik ga hier blijven, ik ga heel even koffie zetten. Nou, volgens mij is er niks meer gezegd in mijn afwezigheid.
No. What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here. You are going to stay here, aren't you? You heard me before, didn't you? You will die. What about this isn't getting through to you?
Ik vind het heerlijk als je hem pist maakt. Sorry, narrator. Ik kan hier niet blijven. Joejoe!
No!
Oh.
Oh, thank God. No. No, no. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. My God. Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
Ik loop nu ook vet langzaam. Oh, even zien. Berichtje.
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I wish I still thought that was possible.
Ja. Oh, ik zal zo eventjes wat biertjes koud leggen voor vanmiddag. Het spijt me, narrator. Ik moet de loop breken. Ik moet terug naar het begin, want Willem wil zien wat er gebeurt als je alles goed doet. Je snapt het wel, narrator.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Hij is zo zielig. Ligt overal papier. Oké.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ja. Oké, we gaan alles goed doen.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oké, kan ik gelijk even kijken welke ik nog mis? Large room, lots of boxes. Oké. Ze hebben hem dichtgetimmerd. De broom closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided...
Spannend. Oh, het is bijna middag. Ik ga zo even een pizzaatje in de oven doen. Lekker.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand,
but to let go.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to
feel.
Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
Yep.
And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
En daar zijn we dan.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Nou, dat is dus het normale einde, oftewel de freedom ending, als je inderdaad alles doet wat hij zegt. Ik ben er doorheen geraced, want er is een speedrun achievement voor.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Gaan we dan. Roomcluster is nog steeds dichtgetimmerd. We gaan nu kijken of we die speedrun kunnen halen, want ik heb hem niet gehaald.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
Okay, volgens mij heb ik dit op zijn snelst gedaan. Het snelste wat ik ooit had kunnen doen. En er is inderdaad ook nog een kleine shortcut die we kunnen nemen.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yes. Kijk, je hebt hier een klein doosje voor het bureau liggen.
The lights
Als je hier
rose
op
on an
de stoel gaat
enormous room
staan,
packed with television
op het
screens.
bureau.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Oké, dat was niet het snelste wat ik kon doen. Ik denk niet dat ik hem nu haal. Maar we gaan het zien.
Now the monitors jumped to life.
Je kan dus niet springen in het spel, dus je moet altijd ergens op
Each bore the
waggelen.
number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
We gaan
And
straks
as the
proberen met de
cold
emmer.
reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided... blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Was it?
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
Zo is het.
And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Jeffrey Calzone is erbij.
Felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense
Mag ook
possibility
wel na
of the
een
new
chat met
path
alleen maar
before
Willem
him.
Hendricks.
This was exactly the way, right now,
Hoe is
that
het ermee,
things
jongen?
were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Jeffrey, ik speel The Stanley Parable. The Stanley Parable is een spel. Alsof dat erg is. Nee, is ook niet erg. Oké. Dit is het verhaal over een man die heet Stanley. Maar ik kom nog eens vaker, Jan. Dit is het verhaal van een man die heet Stanley. Hij is werknemer nummer 427 in dit kantoor. Je moet zeg maar op knoppen drukken de hele dag als je baan. En opeens, een uur lang krijg je geen opdrachten binnen. En zijn al je collega's weg. Nou, en daar begint het verhaal een beetje.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
En je hebt dus een verteller in je hoofd. En die vertelt jou dus alles. Wat je moet doen en zo. Het leuke is om dat niet te doen.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ja, maar wij gaan rechts.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness.
Zo is het.
Then the feeling went away, and he felt sad again. Then it came, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Zullen we nu een keer die lift helemaal nemen? Eens even kijken. We gaan hem
Stanley was
gewoon
so
helemaal
bad
negeren.
at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Nee, niet springen.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
For her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone. As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Ah, betrapt.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Oh jee.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
What the fuck, dit spel?
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please. Now that that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story.
Yeah.
That story would make no sense at all.
Fair.
We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality. Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Ja, goeie.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Oh shit, alles is hier. Oh, hier. Die kabinetten zijn gedraaid en alles. Allemaal heel erg fucked up. Oké.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Allemaal kapot. Alles is kapot.
I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child.
Yeah.
Oh, my story.
Okay.
If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oké, we gaan left. Is het nog steeds fucked up?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Zijn er ook opties afgesloten, zeg maar? Kan hij ook niet bepaalde dingen doen? Kan de executive bathroom niet in? Hey.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week.
Oh.
Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Night Shark 155. Night Shark 115.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115.
Night Shark
He spoke
115.
it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Oh nee. Ik kan niet praten.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Night Shark 115.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
Een raar
I need you to
kutspel.
walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me?
Credits.
Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
En hij begint overnieuw. Oké. Ik vind het hier wel eventjes mooi geweest voor nu. Ik ga zo even een pizzaatje eten. En dan ga ik vanmiddag even iets anders doen. Ik weet nog niet of ik vanmiddag ga boeren. Hangt er vanaf wie er allemaal meedoen. Of dat ik vanmiddag misschien verder ga met Factorio. Kijken of dat leuk is. Ik zie wel eventjes. We komen er wel uit. Mensen, bedankt voor het kijken in ieder geval voor nu. En ik zou zeggen, tot vanmiddag. Of anders de volgende keer bij CrimiTV.